Hello students, welcome to AIMS Today YouTube channel. This is AIMS India live session. In this we are going to discuss about chemistry, particularly about chemical reactions and equations. In this topic, the part that is about chemical equations we are going to see now. What is a chemical equation first of all? The method of representing a chemical reaction with the help of symbols and formulae of the substances involved in it is known as a chemical equation. So what is it meant by chemical equation? The method, the shorthand representation, to say simply. While discussing about the basics, we say symbols. What does it mean symbol? The shorthand representation of an element's name is called symbol. The complete name of an element is represented with a symbol, so one letter or two letters, that we are calling as symbol. In the same way, formula. The shorthand representation of the chemical formula of a compound is known as its formula. Suppose if you say calcium carbonate, instead of writing calcium carbonate completely, we can add just CaCO3. It is a shorthand representation of calcium carbonate. So there CaCO3 is called formula of calcium carbonate, shorthand representation of name of a compound. In the same way, when these compounds elements they combine to form a chemical reaction, the complete chemical reaction also can be represented with symbols and formulae of the chemical substances participating and the symbols and formulae of the chemical compounds formed in the reaction. So that a symbolic representation is known as chemical equation. Zinc metal reacts with dilute sulfuric acid to form zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas. So let us suppose this reaction. Zinc metal reacts with dilute sulfuric acid to form zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas. The same can be represented equationally like this. So zinc combining here, zinc reacting with the dilute sulfuric acid to form zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas. This is actually, instead of using here formulae, we have written directly names. So this can be told as, this is known as word equation. In the place of words, if we use symbols and formulae, then that is called chemical equation. It is called word equation. Putting the symbols and formulae of all the substances in the above word equation, we get the following chemical equation as, yes, in the place of writing zinc, we have used a symbol of zinc Zn, and we told sulfuric acid. In the place of sulfuric acid name, we have used its formula H2SO4, and the products formed ZnSO4 and zinc sulfate is replaced with ZnSO4, and we told hydrogen gas is emitted. So the hydrogen gas is replaced with its symbol H2. So this is called chemical equation. In this equation, the substances which combine or react are known as reactants. So in this reaction, what are the substances reacting? Zinc and sulfuric acid, dilute sulfuric acid. These two are reacting. So these two substances which are reacting in the chemical reaction are known as reactants. So these two together called as reactants. At the same time, the chemical substances which are formed are known as products. Products. Here, zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas both are formed. So these two are called as products. So the chemical substances which are participating in the reaction or which are involved in the chemical reaction are known as reactants, and the substances which are formed finally after the reaction are known as products. A chemical equation is a shorthand method of representing a chemical reaction. Yes, we said here this because in the representation of chemical reaction we are using these shorthand notations like symbols and formulae of these either reactants or products. So finally the chemical equations is said to be the shorthand notation or the shorthand representation of a chemical reaction in which reactants and products are represented by using their shorthand representations like symbols and formulae. Now, balanced and unbalanced chemical equations. So, a balanced chemical equation has an equal number of atoms of different elements in the reactants as well as in the products. That means, in a chemical equation, the number of atoms of the reactants and the number of atoms of the products both are same. Then that it is said to be balanced chemical equation. Let us take once again the same reaction what we have seen earlier, that is zinc metal reacts with dilute sulfuric acid to form zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas. In this reaction, if you see equationally, zinc plus H2SO4 gives ZnSO4 plus H2. If you count the number of atoms of all the elements in the reactant side and product side separately, let us try to count the number of atoms of either reactants and products separately here. Let us take once again the same equation here. So try to calculate the number of atoms of all the elements or atoms or atoms on both the sides. If you see number of zinc atoms at the reactant side is 1. If you see on the products side, so in this molecule there is only one zinc atom. So number of atoms of zinc on the product side also 1. Number of hydrogen atoms, if you see at the reactant side in the H2SO4 molecule, there are 2 hydrogen atoms. So it is 2. On the right hand side or on the product side also, there are 2 hydrogen atoms in hydrogen gaseous form. So on the right hand side also, 2 hydrogen atoms are there. If you see number of sulfur atoms in this H2SO4 molecule, yes, if you observe, there is 1 sulfur atom. So number of hydrogen sulfur atoms on the reactant side is 1. If you see on the product side, there is only 1 sulfur atom. So number of sulfur atoms also on both the sides is being same. Now if you observe oxygen atoms in the H2SO4 molecule on the reactant side, only in the sulfuric acid it is there, and the number of oxygen atoms, if you count, there are 4 oxygen atoms in H2SO4 molecule. So on the left hand side 4. If you observe on the product side, that is in this zinc sulfate molecule, there are 4 oxygen atoms on the right hand side also. So finally what we have come to conclusion, the number of atoms of all the elements on the both the sides are being equal. Zinc is being same number, hydrogen atoms are same on both the sides, sulfur atoms are also both the same on both sides, even oxygen atoms are also being same on both the sides. Both the sides in the sense here in reactants as well as in products. So there are an equal number of atoms of different elements in the reactants and products. So the above chemical equation is said to be balanced chemical equation. So the chemical equation in which the number of atoms of all the elements are being same in both the sides are balanced chemical equations. So this zinc plus sulfuric acid reaction is given in the balanced chemical equation form. An unbalanced chemical equation has an unequal number of atoms of one or more elements in the reactants and products. So we said if the number of atoms of all the elements on the reactant side and product side are same, then that is said to be balanced chemical equation. If one or more than one atoms are being unequal on both the sides in an equation, then that equation is said to be unbalanced equation. Let us consider one example. The reaction of hydrogen reacts with oxygen to form water. We know the equation for this will be like this: hydrogen reacting with oxygen to form water molecules. Count the number of atoms of all the elements in this on the reactant side and product side separately. On the reactants and product side, if you take the tabular column, number of hydrogen atoms on the reactant side, if you see it is in the H2 form, hydrogen molecular form, there are 2 hydrogen atoms in the reactant side. If you count the number of hydrogen atoms on the product side, Here also there are two hydrogen atoms. Means the number of hydrogen atoms are being same in the reactant side and product side, but it does not representing the balance equation. We cannot consider by only this as it is balanced. Let us check the remaining elements also. Other elements in this reaction are oxygen atoms. If you say the number of oxygen atoms on the reactant side, there are two oxygen atoms. If you observe on the product side in the water molecule, there is only one oxygen atom. So the number of oxygen atoms here and here it is not same. So the above chemical equation contains an unequal number of oxygen atoms in reactants and products. So it is an unbalanced equation. The equation in which one or more elements, one or more atoms or atoms of an element are being unequal in an unequal number on reactant side and product side, then that equation is said to be unbalanced equation. So here the formation of water representing equation is an unbalanced equation because the number of oxygen atoms are being unequal in both sides. Next, how to balance these unbalanced equations? So that is balancing of chemical equations. A balanced chemical equation tells you the amount of reactants and products needed to satisfy the law of conservation of mass. So what is this law of conservation of mass? You might have learned in the lower classes. This law of conservation of mass tells us or explains us or states that the total mass of the reactants should be equal to the total mass of the products formed. In any chemical reaction, the total mass of the reactants will be equal to the total mass of the products formed in that reaction. So, to satisfy this chemical law or law of conservation of mass, the total number of atoms of all the elements on the reactant side and the product side should be same. Then only that equation is called balanced equation. A balanced equation is also known as stoichiometric equation. What it is? A balanced equation is also called stoichiometric equation. So basically this means there are same number of each type of atoms on the left hand side and the right hand side of the equation. Yes, balanced equation means the number of atoms of all the elements on the both the sides is same. Yes, here is a process which we follow generally step by step, let us say, to balance the chemical equation. These steps we follow for balancing of all kinds of unbalanced chemical equations. Let us practice. So let us try to understand balancing of chemical equations by using a very well known chemical reaction in our daily life, that is rusting of iron in the air. So what is rusting of iron? When these iron objects are kept in the atmosphere or outside the air for a few days, they react with atmospheric oxygen and converts into respective iron oxide. That is called rusting of iron. So if this rusting of iron, let us try to balance the equation which is representing this rusting of iron. First step among them is write the unbalanced chemical equation relating that chemical reaction. So first of all, we have to write the unbalanced equation which is representing that chemical reaction. First among that is we told rusting of iron. If you say iron combines with oxygen to form iron oxide, this is the reaction behind rusting of iron. So first we have to write that unbalanced equation. We have written it. Next, second step. Write down the number of atoms of each element are present in on each side of the arrow mark. Arrow mark means this is which is separating reactants and products. So write the number of atoms of each and every element on both the sides of this arrow mark. So in this way you can write them. If you say number of atoms on the reactant side, if you say iron, the number of atoms of iron on the left hand side is 1. If you see on the right hand side in Fe2O3, there are 2 iron atoms. So number of iron atoms are not same on both sides. If you see oxygen atoms on the reactant side, there are two oxygen atoms on the reactant side. If you observe in the product side, there are three oxygen atoms. Means the number of oxygen atoms also not the same on both the sides. Hence, it is an unbalanced equation. So we have started balancing of a chemical equation which is unbalanced at the initial. We have taken its equation. We have tried to calculate the number of atoms of all the elements on both the sides. We came to know as it is unbalanced. So let us go to next step. Here, balance atoms present in a single molecule are reactant and products first. So the atoms which are existing singly in the chemical equation, those let us try to balance first. So in the equation Fe plus O2 gives Fe2O3. We have seen iron atoms are existing singly. So let us try to start balancing this equation from iron side. So if there are any elements like oxygen and oxygen elements in the single elemental form, those let us balance at the last. First, let us balance other atoms which are other than oxygen and hydrogen, the iron in this equation. So let us try to balance the iron by placing some numbers in the equation that we say hidden trail method. Just by keeping one number at one side, try to count the number of atoms on both the sides. If they are same, let us keep the same number. If by keeping this number, a number of atoms are if not balanced, then replace that number with one more simpler number. So in this, to balance oxygen atoms on both the sides, if you see here there are two oxygen iron atoms, here only one iron atom is there. So what can we do for making this balanced iron atoms? We can keep here 2 in front of iron, so that number of oxygen iron atoms on both the sides will be balanced. So keeping a coefficient of 4 in front of iron at left side, if you then add a coefficient of 2 in front of the rust on right side, making it balanced. So let us take here 4 in front of iron in the reactant side, 2 in front of Fe2O3 on the right hand side, makes it balanced on both the sides. Hence, iron is balanced from this now here. Let us go to next step. Now, after balancing iron, let us go for balancing oxygen atoms. So, finally, we have to balance either oxygen or hydrogens present in the equation. In this equation, there is no hydrogen, need not to go for this. First, let us balance oxygen after balancing iron. So, in this equation, after balancing of iron atoms, if we observe oxygen atoms on both the sides, here there are, if you observe on the left hand side, there are only 2 oxygen atoms. If you observe on the right hand side in the product side, within each molecule there are 3 oxygen atoms, and we have taken 2 molecules of iron oxide. So finally the number of oxygen atoms becomes 6. We have to multiply this number with the coefficient number. Total it becomes 6 oxygen atoms. So the same number, same 6 number of oxygen atoms should come in reactant side also. So for that what we do, if we try multiplying this reactant side oxygen with 3, then we have 6 oxygen atoms also on the reactant side also. So finally oxygen atoms becomes same on both the sides if you keep here 3 on the reactant side. So you can make this equation like this. By this, if you observe number of oxygen atoms on both the sides, it is becoming 6. So what is the number of oxygen atoms on the reactant side now? If we count, in each molecule there are 2 oxygen atoms and there is a coefficient. If there is any coefficient, that should be multiplied by number of atoms in the molecule. The total number of atoms then we get. So if you if you multiply these two, we get 6 oxygen atoms on the reactant side. And here also, if you observe on the product side, what is the number of oxygen atoms? If you see, in each molecule there are 3 oxygen atoms. If you multiply that with the 2 oxygen, which is in coefficient form, Then if we multiply these two, we get total number of oxygen atoms in the molecule on the product side. Total it is 6. Oh, okay. Number of iron atoms on both the sides are 4. Number of oxygen atoms both are 6. Finally, we are getting total number of each element atoms are being same on both the sides, and that is on reactant side and product side. Hence, we can say this is balanced chemical equation. By this, we are getting balanced chemical equation. So, what we have done here, first we are balancing the atoms other than hydrogens and oxygen which are in the elementary form. Heavier metals and dissolve will be balanced first. By how we are balancing these atoms? By randomly keeping some simple numbers in front of these formulae or symbols as coefficients. By keeping simple number, we have to check whether the atoms are balanced on both the sides or not. If they are balanced, we can continue that. If not balanced, then we can replace that simple number with another simple number. So we can start with these numbers from 2, 3, 4 and so on. So in that way, first we balance heavier elements and then we balance finally elements like oxygen and hydrogen. These are method by which we can balance the equation in the simple way. This is about chemical equations and balanced and unbalanced equations, balanced equations and unbalanced equations. If it is an unbalanced equation, how to balance also we have seen here. So based upon this, let us see some assessment questions, which are previous contest questions we can say. First question from this, based upon the balanced equations, we can see here. What is rust? We have seen in the chemical equations about rust. What is rust? What does it represent? Let us see options. Sodium oxide, iron oxide, copper oxide, silver oxide. Which of these metal oxides represent rust? Can you guess the answer? Yes, anyone can try the answer for it. Which of the following oxides represent rust? Yes, you can try by giving answer in the live chat. Some of you have tried already. Yes, it is correct answer, Khan. Yes, Miss. Yeah, many of you have given correct answer. Yes, it is iron oxide. Iron, when kept outside in the atmospheric air, it reacts with the oxygen in the present in the air and forms iron oxide. It is called chemically rust. Yes, B is correct answer for it. Let us go to second question. Yes, many of you have given correct answer. Very good. Well tried. In the second one, if you see the equation hydrogen plus oxygen gives water. What are the coefficients used to balance this equation? Means we are asking to balance this equation. After balancing, what are the coefficients we are getting in front of these reactants and products they are asking. Let us see options once. So these are the options given. Which option suits the correct coefficients for balancing this equation? Can you try for this? What do we get as coefficients after balancing this formation of water equation? The equation which is representing the formation of water. What do we get? Anyhow, 0 won't be. So A and B won't be coming again anyhow. Now, can you guess the correct answer regarding the coefficients? As there are zeros representing no reactant involvement, so these won't come under answers. So in these two we have to check once. We can go from the options also. If we keep these numbers in the equation and if you check the number of atoms on both the sides, then also we can guess the answer. We can try to guess the answers. So what is the correct answer? Yes, it is a C. Because if you keep on, if you try to balance the number of atoms on both the sides, you'll get numbers like this: 2, 1 and 2. If you check the number of atoms on both the sides now, if you say hydrogen atoms are 4 on the left hand side. If you see in water molecule also, there are 2 hydrogen atoms and the coefficient 2. Total it becomes 4 hydrogen atoms. On the left hand side 4, on the right hand side also 4. So hydrogens are balanced. Now, number of oxygen atoms. Actually, in the chemical equation, if it is 1, the coefficient 1 won't be written. For understanding, we have written here. So, in each molecule of oxygen, there are 2 oxygen atoms, and this 2 is multiplied with the coefficient 1. Total 2 oxygen atoms on the left hand side. If we see on the right hand side also, there is 1 oxygen atom in each molecule of water, and the coefficient 2 is there. So, this 1 should be multiplied with 2. So, total 2 oxygen atoms on the right hand side also. So in this way that all the atoms on the both the sides are being equal. Hence this is balanced equation. So these are the correct coefficients. Now let us see one more question on this. Fe plus Cl2 gives FeCl3. What are the coefficients? What coefficients would be balancing this equation? So this is also based upon the balancing of chemical equation. So try to balance the equation so that you will be getting correct coefficients. Can you give coefficients? So let us go for the option so that you can understand very easily. 422, 322, 111 and 232. Now we can try balancing this equation. Any guess for this? Yes, some of you have given already. Yeah, correct answer. Yes, it is right. Many of you are trying in the correct way. Very good. So D is correct answer for this equation, because if you see the balanced equation, we get like this. 2, 3, 2 are the coefficients we get after balancing this. We check this number of atoms. Number of iron atoms on the reactant side is 2. Number of iron atoms on the right hand side or product side also 2. And number of chlorine atoms. It should be done counting the number of atoms like this should be done very carefully, because in each molecule there are chlorine atoms too. This 2 should be multiplied with the quotient which is there in front. So 2 into 3, totally number of chlorine atoms is 6 on the reactant side. Here also it should be done very carefully. See here, in each FeCl3 molecule there are 3 chlorine atoms, but in front there is 2 as a coefficient. So this 3 should be multiplied with 2 to get the total number of chlorine atoms on the right hand side, that is 6. So all the chlorine atoms and iron atoms are balanced on both the sides. So total number of atoms is being equal on both the sides. Hence it is the correct equation. So D is the correct option for it. I think you understood how to do it. Next, based upon the counting the number of atoms, we have given this question. Try to do it. How many aluminum atoms are there in 2Al2O3 molecules? So how many aluminum atoms are there? Is it 4 or 6 or 8 or 2? How can you say? If you say 2, it is wrong. How many aluminum atoms are there in this? How to count it? First we have to say how many aluminum atoms are there in each molecule. How many are there? 2 aluminum atoms are there. Then this number should be multiplied with the coefficient which is there in front of the molecular formula. Then we get the total number of atoms of that particular element present in the total given. So that will be 4. Very good. Most of you have given correct answer. It is 4. 4 aluminum atoms are there in overall in the given compound. Next, in the same way, one more you try, children. How many oxygen atoms are there in the same? We have counted earlier aluminum atoms. Now count oxygen atoms. How to count? First we have to see how many atoms of oxygen are there in each molecule. That is, 3 oxygen atoms are there. Now let us see options first. So if you see, in each molecule of aluminum oxide, there are 3 oxygen atoms. So these 3 should be multiplied with the coefficient which is in front of the molecular formula. If you multiply these two, we get 6. So the correct answer is, yeah, very good. Many of you have given correct answer. It is 6. So in this way, we can discuss about balancing of chemical equations. What is balanced equation? We told the equation in which both the number of atoms of all the elements are same in all both the sides. So if it is not balanced, if it is not balanced, then that is called unbalanced chemical equation. So how to balance the unbalanced equations also we have seen. First, write the unbalanced equation. First, we have to try to balance the atoms of heavier elements like metals other than hydrogens and oxygens. How to balance these? By keeping simple numerals in front of them as coefficients. So that can be done in the hit and trial method. First we take a simple number. If it is balanced, okay. If it is not balanced, then we go for some other number. In this way, we try balancing those. How to balancing them? Finally, we balance elements like hydrogens and oxygens. So in that way, it can be done. Finally, you have to check once that whether all the atoms of different elements present in the equation on both the sides, whether are getting the same number or not, then that is said to be balanced equation. The balanced equation is also known as stoichiometric equation. So it is about it. Right, children? Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel and visit our website, that is www.aimstoday.in, for latest updates and recorded videos. Latest updates means you can get the updates regarding upcoming live sessions. When there is a particular class of particular subject, you will get a notification to your mobile directly about the live sessions. If you subscribe the channel, you will get these notifications. And even you can watch our recorded videos. If you miss any class in the live sessions, no worry, you can watch those classes in the recorded form in our YouTube channel or in our website also. So please subscribe our channel so that you will get updates regarding these live sessions. So there will be chance to watch these immediately. Thank you.